In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. Tonight I will speak about the thin line that keep the opportunity of creating ourselves very quite similar to when we lose the occasion and we lose the chance to create that self and we lose the opportunity to own it or to have it for eternity. This topic is very important because it's very crucial in understanding where we came from and where we are going. First of all, we have to understand that the divine self, the eternal self that has always been here, and it's the self that decided to start a physical creation and created all what is seen and all what is unseen. When this eternal self decided to create a new creatures, out of its understanding of the existence itself, it decided to give each and every creature the same opportunity itself went through. That means when everything existed, it was all half good, half bad, half light, half darkness. And when the creation started, the goal of creating the physical realm was to perfect the light. That means advance the light over the darkness, advance the existence over the non existence. However, in darkness, there are power that they are very useful to the existence itself because they are part of the creation process and but we have to understand them, we have to accommodate them, we have to take them on board in a wise way and in a just way and in a loving way. So that's what people understand as energy realm. However, behind all of that, the creator is the source of everything, including energy and physical and the seen and the unseen. That must be understood because that's the main point or point of departure that each and every person has to understand in order to understand why we are here in this mortal limited time and what is the final destination and who will get there properly and who will get there after a push and who will get there eventually or who will get there after you know periods of time in hell because these are the most difficult people that they don't want to learn, they don't want to make the effort, and they don't want to understand what's going on around them. They just focus on what they having in the now, and if they want to plan for the future, they plan only in a materialistic way, pure materialistic way. They can't see beyond what they see. Okay, so we have to understand now that each and every individual, each and every person, each and every creature has to walk this walk from mortality back to immortality. The way it should go that we are all born with a 50% good, 50% bad soul, and we have through our lifetime to take lessons, to learn, to in order to improve that's the goodness in us to perfect the light, and that means we have to keep improving every day. And of course, many people try to improve, but they go in the wrong direction. Or people who do not want to improve anything, they are just uh, keep themselves to the, to very low level, and to a very low level. They, do all the harmful possible things that they could do. So they make their soul go down from the 50% down to something more towards the darkness side. So we have to understand these things before we start to understand why the world now is going into the wrong direction and what type of categories exist in our world today. I'm not speaking about the past, I'm not speaking about history. Today, the people we meet in our daily life, the people we see on the screens, the people who are in power, the people who are in the army, the people who, wherever they are. Okay, we start. We have first category, people who believe in science and deny God. Deny God totally, deny anything spiritual at all. They are just very materialistic. They believe in science, the science, the physical science related to mathematics, physics, numbers, and they believe that they can find understanding to everything in a scientific way, pure scientific way. Like, for example, they are trying hardly now to understand how the mind function and what's consciousness. They are trying to do all these things, uh, and they set to themselves a goal, and whatever you are going to bring them as proof of the spiritual existence, and that no one can just gain anything through science, physical science, materialistic science, and all these things. So these people have decided where they are heading. They don't want any more thing other than this life. They are happy with their choice, and too arrogantly, unable to change. You can't even try to sway them away, or to whatever proofs you bring them, they won't change their uh, decision. So I call these are the most arrogant people that is on the earth today, and they are definitely losers once the day of judgment arrives, and people uh, will be judged according to their deeds and according to their understanding of things behind around them, and how grateful they were during their lifetime, etc. This is the first category. They are the most arrogant people you can ever imagine. Another category, people who believe in science, they deny God, but they believe in reincarnation. So these people, they give themselves a chance that they could be born after their death in that serpent cycle, according to their deeds. For example, if they lead a good life here, they will be in a good family next time, and so forth. And if they are bad, they could go into a poor family, or to an animal kingdom, or whatever. So these people, many of them use, many words to define the creation around them. They mix the evolution with the creative intelligence. They just avoid the word God completely, and they take some kind of wisdom from Eastern religions, Far Eastern religions and wisdom, and they put things together in order to suit themselves. And so they give themselves the chance that we could meet again in another life, in another form, or whatever. So these people are also arrogant. However, they uh, they are greedy to a degree. These are, ungrateful but greedy. The first was the most arrogant. Now, arrogant and liars, because Of course they care, they don't want to die, but they don't admit it. The second ones, as I said, they are more truthful because they care about what comes next after death, but at the same time still arrogant not to admit their limitations and understand that there is a creator behind it. Then we have the people who worship energy as God or as gods. These are the people who understand that understand the the substance of nature, the four elements of nature: the fire, the air, the water, and the clay. However, they understand just a very small portion of the big picture because they are worshipping whatever comes across them in the energy realm. And the energy realm is just a shadow realm of the earth. That means the earth, that it has a, scientifically they call it the electromagnetic field of the earth or energy field of the earth, but it's shadow earth. It's just where energy beings exist. We don't see them, but they see us. So each and every person of us has a shadow self of himself. That means I have a copy of me that exists in the shadow realm or the energy realm. However, it could still communicate with me, it could still communicate with others, and it was made to outlive me. That means even if I die physically in this physical realm, my shadow self could still be alive in the energy realm. So these people mix things up and they learn some kind of mystical teachings from ancient civilizations, including Babylon and the magic, and that comes next because these people now will be divided, and among those people they are mixing things together, the Freemasons and many other New Age movements. So these people, as I said, they deny God really. They think the energy beings have architecture, everything. So they believe that those beings who exist in the energy realm or the electromagnetic field are the ones who creating everything and ruling everything and deciding everything on our behalf. So now they will be divided into two categories: people who practice black magic and people who practice white magic. People who practice black magic, as I said, they deny God completely and they think once they are in touch with their shadow self or even with a being more with shadow beings who had already lost their physical lives, they can make control through books they have received through ancient civilizations. That means they can put a curse on someone or they can direct someone's life to go their way. They try to always to be in control, and because they manage through the teachings or the books they have to have some kind of control over the shadow beings of many people. So if people are not really uh, having a strong faith in God and they are not have self-confidence too much, they could be easily controlled by these beings. So by these magicians, black magicians. So they can, for example, have a love affair with your shadow self, have enslave your shadow self for their sake. That means you won't do anything they don't like. They can mess up with your mind and all these things. So these are the black magicians. They think themselves there's no God and they are there as you know they can play God as much as they like as long as they are alive. The people who practice white magic, They are two portions: the ones who deny God and the ones who, ad, admit there is a God. However, they are both wrong, and I will explain why. The people who practice white magic are people who don't want to be seen as black magicians, first of all. So they try to, find some kind of a cover that they are not black magicians, those who deny God. Now I'm speaking about the first category. They are like the Wicca people and the people of that Gerald Gardner. He doesn't want to be like Aleister Crowley, for example. He decided to mix some good things from here, some good things from there, and claiming that they are dealing with the spirit of nature, and they give names to things, and there is a God and his wife who are in the energy realm and all this blah blah blah, and they hold practices in nature, and they mix things up, and they claim the Druids were like this before them, and they try to, collection of things that suit them, but at the same time they don't look harmful or threatening, while in reality they are, because even when they put curses or surround themselves by some kind of magical protection, they are doing it without any realization how much could be harmful to others. Even if others have no bad intention towards them, they could be still hit by their fucking web they created around them, and that will affect them badly too. So they are going into a mess. They don't know where it started and where it ends, and that would could be easily turn their lives upside down, regardless of how much wealthy or how much knowledgeable they are. So they are still playing with fire, but under better words than the black magicians. And there are a very small percentage of these white magicians who believe in God, the God as the collective consciousness of all the creation and all these things. However, they go into the dark place when they claim that they can co-create with God. So it's like they are the ones who, saying we can from now get our future reward. So, because the one who understands God and we understand the limitations we have in this mortal life, understand that before we get our immortality and before we got approved for our deeds by God, there is no way that we could co-create with God. And these guys are behind the simulation theories, and that everything exists, it's only the imagination of God. And they claim that each one of us can imagine the world the same way God imagined it. That means I can create my own world the way I want. And they go into a state that they deny the limitations which exist in reality, whether they like it or not. Even if they want to deny reality with words, it won't work like that, because I can't, for example, create a world in my imagination that's not affected by, unless it's a world that no other human being exists in it. You can, for example, create a world that you have, for example, this woman that you like in it, for example, as your lover. Well, she has no interest in you. She has also her own dream and dreaming her own life, and she doesn't want you to be in it. So it doesn't work, and it's not plausible for any sane person. Yes, maybe God in the future, after the judgment day, when everybody got his due, and how much work he has done during this mortal life, how much trustworthy he is or she is, in order to be given a power that's enough to co-create, because at that point God will know in their hearts they are not greedy, they are not destructive, they are not harmful, so they can start co-create. or join the family of the creators. So these people are like, the people who understood the game, all the rules of the game, and then, they haven't yet crossed the finish line, and they are celebrating too early. Then we have the people who follow a religious sect and know God only through that. That means they are born to Jewish parents, they are born to Christian parents, they are born to Muhammadian parents, they are born to Buddhist parents, Hindu parents, Sikh parents, whatever. They do as their parents were. They understand God only in from this window. That means if anything shaking that foundation, if any new information appear, for example, that Jesus is not God, they lose faith in God totally. They no longer understand what God is and all these things. This are the most ignorant people, and their faith is very fragile and could be shaken at any bad experience in life, and they could be uprooted easily and could be thrown all over the place because they come completely to know God from a complete, ignorant place, just according to this book or that book. Outside that, they are lost. These people who want a savior, want Jesus to save their asses in the end, or Muhammad, or whoever the savior they want. And these people, they don't know that, they don't understand the way they are attaching themselves to this or that label. It's just out of their complete ignorance, not out of faith. It's out of ignorance and pride of a religious identity. While in reality, if you pick that Jewish guy and throw him, for a Christian parents, he would have been, behaving Christian way. If you throw him in Muhammadian family, he would be acting like any other Muhammadian. Just because these people, they got the label they are born with, and that's it. They don't want to use their minds. They don't want to look beyond what their parents practice, and this is completely one of the worst possible ways to know or God or understand Him, because you will never understand. And these people are two categories too. The extreme, and they are the most dangerous because they believe that they go very arrogant in their belief because they belong to this or that sect or this or that religion. They think themselves that God is just exclusive for them and doesn't bother about the other people. So they think all the other people are lower than them. And the moderate, which, as I said, they want to live their lives, however, they are looking for a savior. Then another category, the people who believe in power of money and force. These are the people who believe that we are living in a jungle and they don't give a damn. There are two categories. They could be very or under a religious label. They could be acting under atheist liberal label. So these people, as I said, they believe they are in a jungle. So they can put a religious cover on themselves, and they could go wage wars, steal money, steal goods, make mess out of nature, invade the green spaces. They are the most greedy people, and they are the most dangerous, and they are the most destructive between everybody else. Most of them are insatiates. They never bother about anything other than their own ego and their own selfishness. These are the most dangerous beings ever, whether they come under religious cover or an atheist cover. As long as they believe in power and money and force, they are the most destructive force that is. Then the last category, The people who seek the truth neutrally. And these are the people who, some of them have already found God, and some of them will surely find God. These are the only successful, victorious among all the rest, because these are the people who have their own understanding of God, their own relationship with God, and whenever they are seeking the truth neutrally, they will find God. Neutrally. They are not coming from a specific background or in a biased way towards this faith or this religion or this ideology or this theory or, so these people are the best because they, if they didn't reach already and God understood him, they will reach him. If not tomorrow, after tomorrow. If not the coming year, the next year. But they will definitely arrive. They are the strongest believer because once they arrive, they know everything and they already arrived. So these are the categories of all the people who live on this planet. And as we can see, there is very small percentage that really understand God and found God. All the rest are behind all the mess that we have caused to the natural balance, the ecosystem, the animal kingdom, and even the relationship between human beings. There's no longer love, there's no longer justice, there's no peace, there is no harmony, there is no mercy, there is nothing other than greed, materialism, possessions, uh, wars, conflicts, pollution, corruption, whatever, bloodshed. So that's it. We have seen the categories, and as I said, the best way is to seek the truth neutral. The truth, nothing else. Not what when you want to seek the truth neutrally, you are not going, for example, to get involved into science in order to approve this theory of Einstein or that theory of Darwin. You are going to seek the truth neutral. And same way when you are doing your meditation or your specific way of communication with the divine realm, and when you are coming from sincere place, from sincere heart and clean mind, not from a dirty mind or a greedy heart or a hard heart, something like that. So these are the beings who can really fulfill their potential. And then comes, of course, the people who like the ones who understand things, yet they are still, mixing things up. And of course, we cannot generalize. There are some people who follow specific religion, however, they know God to a degree, to a high degree, but they are, as I said, very small percentage. So you have to see for yourself where I am in those categories. And many people could pass by 2 or 3 or 4 categories during their lifetime. However, the ones who are victorious for sure are the ones who seek the truth neutral. And they are never satisfied and they are always looking for it every day. That doesn't mean not satisfied, that means I'm not convinced yet that God exists. That's not the point. The point that means I want to understand everything about God, how He created things, how things are functioning, why are we still divided, why, what's behind the divisions, why it's behind the hatred, why, you see, they have to grasp the entire puzzle. I believe myself, big deal, that I started this path at least 10 years ago, and with God's help and my sincere dedication, I believe I understood everything, and I know what is the individual purpose and on this life and the collective purpose. But unfortunately, I can't influence, I can't force myself or my own beliefs or my own results on others. They have to reach them on themselves. I only can advise, I can only try to give guidance, try to answer questions, but only the people who are no longer coming from ego place can understand, can take in, and can apply on their daily lives. So that's it from me tonight. Tomorrow, God is willing, I will be giving some, you know, we go back in a quick trip about the year 2020, and we may give some kind of predictions of what's coming our way in 2021. That's it from me today, tonight. Peace to you all.